So the boss in charge of CNN is a guy named Chris Licht. And he did the Colbert Show, the CBS Morning Show. And he's in there about 14 months, and they whack him today. They fire him. All right? And he was hired by Warner Brothers Discovery, the parent company of CNN, to move the network from a left-wing operation to a more moderate presentation. And he was hired, as I said, 14 months ago. He couldn't do it. All right, the culture is too ingrained left. He fired Don Lemon. He fired a bunch of other people who were fanatical leftists, but he alienated people by doing that. Now, Licht's boss, the guy who whacked him, is named David Zaslav. All right, he's the CEO of Warner Discovery. Since 2018, he has, in compensation, received $500 million. You're looking at $500 million there. With taxes and all of that, he lives in California, I think. So he walks away with about $230 million, in that range. So he fires Licht and hires a woman to take his place, and I'll tell you about her in a moment. But why exactly was Chris Licht fired? Because of Donald Trump. So on May 10th, as everybody knows, CNN had a town hall with former President Trump. It got good ratings, much, much better than they usually do because their ratings are terrible, CNN, and have been for years. Now, that alone could have gotten Licht fired, but you don't fire somebody in 14 months when you're trying to turn a whole operation around. You got to give them about 2 years, to be fair. But once Trump appeared on CNN in that forum, the far left mobilized against Licht. It's very important that you understand that. So, here are, in a coordinated assassination profile, the media companies that each of them did a hit piece on Licht after the Trump town hall. The Atlantic Magazine, New York Magazine, Los Angeles Times, Axios, Vanity Fair, Huffington Post, New York Times, Washington Post, Slate, Politico, Rolling Stone Magazine, The Hollywood Reporter, NPR, The Guardian, The Daily Beast, Salon, The Nation, New Republic, Boston Globe, Seattle Times. Okay? So they each did individual hit jobs on Licht. That's not a coincidence. This was well coordinated. And that is the point I want to get across to you this evening. There is no corresponding coordination on the right in conservative precincts in this country. But the far left controls corporate media. And the message that they just sent, because Licht was fired today, to every single media mogul is, if you benefit Donald Trump, if you don't shun him, we're coming after you. That is the message. Now, they did that when I left Fox News, so I know exactly what's happening here. And some people were courageous, like Sean Hannity and others, and allowed me a forum, but most did not, because this cabal basically threatened them. You put O'Reilly on, you let him say anything, we're coming after you. Okay? So I know what I'm talking about here because I went through it. Now, how does this work? It works because of Saul Alinsky. Remember that name? Saul Alinsky was a communist, and he developed a program called Rules for Radicals. Number 13 in Rules for Radicals is, quote, pick the target, freeze it, personalize it, and polarize it. And that's what they did to Chris Licht. Okay? Day in and day out, they denigrated him. Now, this same crew that we just put up on the screen and I read on the radio so you could hear the names, pretty much has marginalized the Fox News channel with the help of Fox News channel management. Management just caved in, just like CNN management did with firing Licht. But again, Licht didn't really perform. The ratings at CNN have been terrible for years. They had to do something, all right? But Fox News ratings were spectacular when I was there. Last quarter, I was averaging almost 4 million people watching at 8 and another 2.5 at 11. Nobody's ever going to come close to that again. But the cabal is more powerful than the economic profile. And the cabal has been after Fox News for decades. And finally, because of circumstances, Fox News has been marginalized. Okay? Cabal dancing on that grave there. And they're not coming back, by the way. They'll beat CNN and MSNBC because nobody watches either of them. Now, MSNBC maybe 1 million people, CNN 500,000. I mean, it's nothing. It's nothing. The network that's really benefited from all this is Newsmax. They have added a lot of viewers in prime time. Now, the woman who's taking Chris Licht's place at CNN, temporarily, they say, is named Amy Antilles. I worked with her at ABC News for 2 years. She is a liberal woman, Vassar College, Columbia University, got a master's in journalism. Not a raving left-wing loon, a corporate type, but she will allow the culture at CNN to go back to its left wing. See, it was impossible for Licht to change anything because all of the people at CNN on the air, and I mean 100% of them, are liberal people. There aren't any conservatives or even moderates on the air in that network. So it would be like asking me, say I was working for somebody, and I am a traditional independent. That's what I am. Some people say conservative, but I can give you 10 core beliefs that I hold that are not conservative. So that's hooey. I'm traditional, I'm independent. That would be like an executive walking into me and saying, O'Reilly, you're going to be woke from now on the air. It's not happening. I'd walk right out the door, but a lot of people need the paychecks. But you can't come into CNN and say, yeah, you're going to be more moderating because they're all looking at you going, no, we're liberal. That's who we are. And we've always been that way, and we're always going to remain that way. And that's why Licht couldn't move it. He couldn't move the dial. All right? But again, the importance of this story is that this cabal is so powerful on the far left and well-financed and well-coordinated, okay, that they have intimidated every single media company in this country. You give Trump a forum coming after you. Now, that doesn't apply to the conservative networks, but any other network, ABC, NBC, all the morning shows, all the late night shows, everything. Trump is to be shunned. That's what they're going to do in the 24 campaign. The chairman of the Fed is promising more pain ahead. Last year, stocks dropped a whopping 20%. 2023 could be worse. You are right to be worried. So call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They will show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. Since I've been a client and spokesperson, the price of gold has appreciated more than 35%. So please call today and they'll have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. They have thousands of satisfied customers and have the highest rating in the country with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Please tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they will give you up to $5,000 of free silver on your first order. Please call 866-501-5201. That's 866-501-5201 or text Bill to 65532. Again, that's 866-501-5201 or text Bill to 65532. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.